mean, starting off my podcast today, yes, it doesn't look very good in the background, etc. But as I learn and grow, um, we'll make changes like that. But main thing here is I want to test out the equipment I'm using and figure out the platforms that I can share it from certain areas. So I hope to have it on my YouTube channel, my Facebook for Huskies, and the website that I have, possibly TikTok, Snap if I can, different ones like that to get the podcast out there. The main things that we're going to kind of go over in podcast is like to stop storylines in various different media. Do best to switch it up so it's not always the left or not always the right thinking. Kind of keep it down the middle. Doing that, um, like I said, it's going to be a learning process on how to do it, how to set backgrounds, how to be able to share pictures and stuff like that within the deal, so you can kind of see the topics that I'm going over, maybe some of the wording, possibly even slip into there like closed caption and things like that. So um, I know this is one of my top ones that I use because I kind of follow their thought process. But Fox is who I'm going to start off with here. Um, it looks like we got one of the stories here. Rudy Giuliani, who has been in the press here over the last 4 or 5 years here regarding different scenarios. And like I said, we're going to start off with him talking about that and see what's going on. It says in the top headline deal that Rudy Giuliani was seriously injured in a car wreck. It does say he's in good spirits there, but we're going to open it up and go into it and see if there's any other information that's kind of worth sharing, basically. And I do see already that there's some lighting issues and stuff like that when um, videotaping myself, basically. So we'll try to work on that also in time here. Okay, here. So, it says spokesman for Green County says 81-year-old former New York mayor was seriously injured in a car crash in New Hampshire on Saturday night. According to an official statement shared with Fox News Digital, Gianni was flagged down by a woman fleeing a domestic violence incident. He helped the woman and called 911, remaining on the scene until police arrived. While later traveling onto the highway, his rental vehicle was hit from behind at high speed. He is in good spirits, recovering tremendously. Spokesman ahead of the security, Michael Rugus, told Fox News Digital. So, and for some reason, I have music in the background. Not sure where that's coming from, but we'll try to get rid of that too, because that's something you don't want to hear, obviously. So, but like I said, we'll get that figured out here as we go here. There we go. I think we got rid of it now. I am going to kind of keep these to close to a 15-minute mark because I know that when you post on certain platforms, etc., it doesn't allow you to go past that 15-minute mark. So we'll try to fit all in we can and talk about, like I said, try to talk about some of the top stories that are going on. But it sounds like Giuliani wasn't too injured too bad, but it was a bad situation that could have been a lot worse. So thoughts out to him that he's safe, etc., and all involved. Let's see here. Let's pick our next kind of topic. And like I said, just kind of scrolling through the top headlines and stuff on it. And I might not use all of them, but we'll go into that. Um, let's see here. Like I said, just kind of scrolling down here through some of the top news here. Um, this looks like the Powerball went up to the fifth largest prize in games history. Probably have to play it to win, and I haven't played it, so I'm probably not gonna win. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna kind of scroll up and down through the deal to grab different things. One thing is it's into finish up the baseball season. So with Yankee captain Aaron Judge makes history with a monstrous blast, tying team legend. So we're going to go in there and see what more information it has. Yes, it is sports, but like I said, we're going to go into various different topics and stuff about it. Let's see here where we can scroll down to where he starts talking here. Said it's very hard to get this started, but we'll do it. Um, so it says rewrote New York Yankees record books against the Chicago White Sox on Sunday afternoon. and his first at bat. Um, Judge belted his 358th career home run, driving a 0-2 cutter off Martin Freese's deep to the left center field to give Yankees, the lead. Blast was just not his 43rd of the season, but it tied him with the greatest Yogi Berra for fifth most in Yankees history. So yeah, it's pretty positive. Something a record like that in baseball here. Judge almost put himself in a sole position of fifth place after driving a double off of the wall in center field in the third inning. A two-time AL MVP, who serves as Yankees captain, has some work to do to reach Babe Ruth's 659 career home runs as a member of the Bronx Bombers. George continued to put himself on Hall of Fame trajectory for his career, and the accolades keep piling up. So, yeah, that's quite a bit deal here with the Yankees. I know that was one of my mother's favorite teams to watch and root for. So, yeah, it's kind of fun to talk about that baseball a little bit. Don't really talk too much about sports anymore, but we'll put them in here and there as things come on here. Let's see here. Oh boy, there is in Fox News. I don't really see too much that is kind of headline news that's worth sharing at all. But like I said, we'll go through that and see what we can find. We do have that New York City Democrat male. He's running for mayor of New York, and it's Zoran Mamdani, something like that. Kind of pronounce it. He's basically putting socialism out there big time. He wants controlled rent, controlled food prices, grocery stores by the government, city government, I should say. Um, Free healthcare even to illegal immigrants, etc. The city is already at a, you know, high demand for federal funds to support the state, and now they want to take even more on, which I don't necessarily agree with because um, if you got money enough to pay the illegals who have no business being here, in my opinion, of course, I think that you should not get federal funding until you basically send these guys back to the border so they can get due process and possibly get put into cities that actually can afford and need the employees, basically. Kind of deep into that just a little bit here because we're on that topic is that when they do come across, just like the settlers back when the United States was there, they got pushed to cities and states and stuff that weren't populated because the cities were getting overpopulated. And all these people coming into these bigger cities, there's no homes for them. There's not enough food shelters and everything that comes involved with having people that you don't have no place for. And the finances is just killing everybody. There has to be a better way and a better pathway to get the workers that businesses might need, but yet be a country that sustains itself and not continue to go into massive debt because of it. But yeah, that's a whole nother ball of wax, and we'll probably hit on them topics back and forth. But back to the New York mayor, that I just myself hope that he never sees the light of day as mayor because that will just ruin New York City and all New York City is about and how much it helps the country as a whole just because of that city and what they do. But yeah, that's kind of like I said, that's where he's going there. They don't really talk too much about the Republican part of it and who's running, etc. But I sure would love to see it. The only one that kind of thinks going to throw a wrench that might help the Republican is a previous governor, Andrew Cuomo, is wanting to put his in the rat, and he hasn't bowed out of the race yet. So I'm hoping it'll split the Democratic vote enough where the Republican actually wins it. And like I said, I do wish that they would share more about who it is. I might do some research later, and that way in the next podcast I can bring that up and we can talk about it more during those time frames. So, but yeah, like I said, that's kind of all what that's about there. Like I said, we're going to go back here to some of the top stories regarding this. I do apologize. My computer's a little slow today, so it's not keeping up. So I can and scroll through to see some of the top better headlines for the day. See here. There was a story in here, and I'm trying to find it about the shooting in Minneapolis. Let me scroll through it and see if I can type it in to find out a little bit more about that. Yep. Um, just trying to find the article here. Here's one of the other ones, and this was a CNN type deal here. Um, let's see if it actually will play on this one. It might play on.
Just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
I'm hoping that's come
These
through
are
volume wise to the
should be learning with their friends.
video, and that's what we're
They
going to
should
try
be
out
playing
new.
on the playground.
Yeah. And
They should
they're
be
talking
able
about
to
thoughts
go
and
to
prayers
a
here. Why isn't thoughts and prayers a good thing for the people that are safe and the people that weren't safe, the people that killed, etc.? Instead of focusing on faith, they're all worried about everything else. And that's a huge rabbit hole that we won't take ourselves down right now.
Something
But
that I know you feel
yeah,
and most people feel.
go back out of that one and go back to the main page. But yeah, that's a horrific story with all the people that are impacted by that shooting and the quim cobbling instead of dealing with the actual issue and why it happened. And, you know, what was it? Was it a bullying situation where they basically were trying to defend themselves? Was it a total different scenario with home life or what it really was about? But it is sad that it happened there, and I know it has to be scary for the people involved with it. So, like I said, I do say thoughts and prayers out there to them, because, like I said, it is something. It's a horrific deal to deal with. But okay, so there is some talk there, scuttlebutt deal, that Trump CMS chief slams legalized money laundering in Medicaid system. Um, just not going to go too far in that, but the thought deal and talk was all this about cut to Medicaid and Social Security and everything like that. That was the big scare tactic that liberals were saying. And guess what? It didn't happen. There's been no cuts, etc. The only things that are happening is they're weeding out all the stuff that doesn't need to be in the system. And sorry, it's going back into a video again. So, yeah, we're just gonna have to go back out of that one. Sorry about that. Not sure what's causing that, but yeah. Medicaid does have a lot of fraud, et cetera, in it. And I think they need to trim it so that Medicaid and Social Security will actually be able to sustain themselves forever. If it's not going to sustain itself, then at some point in time, it needs to be revamped or whatever the wording is. And sorry, I've got something in the corner of my mouth that doesn't want to come out. Anyway, I hope y'all are going to enjoy this. I might do a couple of times a day. I don't know yet. Like I said, we're just in the process of um, getting it all started, etc., and kind of learning how all the different systems work and things like that. So we are going to go ahead and stop it now because it is close to that time frame where, like I said, I did want to stop it. So, but hopefully y'all like it here. Give me some thoughts on it, and you can reply if I post it to any else. So, all right, thanks.